Hello and welcome back to another video. Welcome back to player analysis, where we'll take a look at a player and just analyze their time at West Ham and their contributions to West Ham and all of that good stuff. Make sure to like the video and subscribe. We are on the road to 500 subscribers, so let's keep that going. Thank you for the support as of recently. Today, we're talking about our newest signing in terms of the last player we signed in the transfer window. That's Kalvin Phillps. Kalvin Phillps is a person that was the only person outside we signed in the January transfer window. A player that we've been interested in for about 18 months. And it's fair to say it hasn't gone down well. But I can't say I'm surprised. Now, there's a video on this channel that you can find from last summer on me talking about Kalvin Phillps. And that's me talking about how he doesn't work. He doesn't work at West Ham, and I never wanted him at West Ham. Now, the reason why I never wanted him at West Ham is because I think Kalvin Phillps is a victim of a manager getting the best out of a player. And that manager was Marcelo Bielsa. Now, if you remember, when they got promoted and look at that Leeds squad, all the English players were getting hyped for England call-ups. Like, even Patrick Bamford at one point got an England call-up in one of the international breaks. Jack Harrison was being talked about, was playing well. When they signed Rafinha, he was playing well. Even Luke Ayling was playing well. Even Liam Cooper. Like, look at the players that I'm saying. Like, I was talking to this with someone, and the only person that's really benefited and still gone on to do good things, other than, leave a Bielsa type team and do well in other places, is Ben White. And he was only on loan there. And now he's doing well at Arsenal. Rafinha, you're hearing so many reports about him, failing to do the business in Barcelona. Jack Harrison, you're hearing that he's been very inconsistent at Everton. Luke Ayling's at Middlesbrough. Patrick Bamford is still at Leeds. And Kalvin Phillps is living off that Bielsa season still till this day. And that's how he got the Euro call-up, etc. And it's not like Kalvin Phillps really set a light for England. He did well in the Euros, but he didn't perform to an outstanding level when you think this guy could go straight to the top. Which is why I was very confused when Man City signed him in the first place. But it's clear to see that Pep clearly didn't like him anyway. And Pep was probably wrong for the whole, well, he's quite fat sort of thing. But at the same time, so be it. Kalvin Phillps, we haven't really got to see him, to be fair, away from Leeds that didn't have Bielsa that often. But Marcelo Bielsa was very good at getting the best out of what he had. He even converted him to a 6. If you watch the Leeds documentary on Amazon, Kalvin Phillps was a 10. Kalvin Phillps was an attacking midfielder, and then he got converted to a sitting midfielder. Just a 4-1-4-1 formation, him just pinging diagonal balls, them playing that fast, aggressive, paced football. That in training, they did a training session called Murder Ball to train that football up. And he still looks up to Bielsa till this day. You can hear it in interviews and stuff like that. But I just didn't see any outstanding qualities. What we needed was a CDM to cover for Edson Alvarez that was just as good as Edson Alvarez. And we got a player that needs game time, lacks match sharpness, and wouldn't get into the starting 11 of this team anyway. So when everyone was hyping this signing up, you can tell they either don't watch us, or it was people that were our fans that were just excited that we had another England international, we can revive another career, and because Lingard had a 6-month fucking revive, everyone can. It's not how it works in football. And to be honest with you, when I analyse his time at West Ham right now, when he came on against Freiburg, he was okay. The away leg. The mistake against Bournemouth is not his fault. It's actually Zuma's fault, because Zuma can see the whole picture. And he can see that Kalvin Phillps is being pressed. Same way against Newcastle when we got battered last year. I blame the thing more on Fabianski rather than Nea Ged, because Fabianski can see that Newcastle are a pressing team and Ged's about to receive the ball. That's why I don't blame that mistake on Ged. I blame that on Fabianski, because he literally rolled it. But with the Kalvin Phillips thing again, Nottingham Forest, the way he got sent off. Now, you can argue one of the yellow cards that he got was slightly harsh. So, can you really blame him for that? Now, I don't want him anyway. So when you hear me talk about him in match reactions, I don't have the same energy I have for him rather than I have for other players. Because not only did I know this was going to happen, but I expect a certain level of quality if you want to stay at this level. And Kalvin Phillips just isn't that for me. He's a big name in terms of there's not many defensive midfielders that England have, and there's not many defensive midfielders that are available. But because he keeps coming up, that's why he gets the moves. That's why he gets talked about as well. Like, go look back at that Leeds side. Fast-paced football. They're on a high. Team spirit after getting promoted. They finished mid-table. It all goes stale under Bielsa because he didn't get back to the transfer market. And also that football is not sustainable if you want to stay up in the Premier League anyway. But it didn't exactly get better under Jesse Marsh and Javi Gracia and all these other managers. And we didn't get to see Kalvin Phillips under Javi Gracia because he was at Manchester City on the bench at this point. And he was never going to get in over Rodri either. So we've got a player that's been overhyped, lack of match sharpness, and is ultimately not got the great morale right now either. Now, if we was to line up with Kalvin Phillips in the team, don't get me wrong, I don't think he'd do terrible. But I just don't think he's good enough. He's not as good as people say. He's not the player you need to compete for Europe week in, week out. He's okay on the ball. He's okay. He can ping a diagonal ball. But let's say, if you're comparing it to what Declan Rice could do, and it's unfair to compare people with Declan Rice, don't get me wrong, because of who Declan Rice is and the stuff that he brings. But when Declan Rice was at West Ham, us as West Ham fans had to deal with these fans that kept comparing these shit players like Longstaff and Ndidi and McTominay, and then Kalvin Phillips was the next one to battle with. Now, Ndidi's in the Championship, McTominay gets an occasional goal here and there, but it's not good enough, and Longstaff is wanted out by Newcastle fans. We have Kalvin Phillips now. Now, let's compare them both. Declan Rice can get out of situations where he's being pressed, can also do a diagonal ball, can drive with the ball, is better at long-range shooting. The only thing you can say is that Kalvin Phillips is probably better at set pieces, even though Declan Rice is learning with his set pieces now at Arsenal. So Declan Rice can also do probably everything that Kalvin Phillips can do, and Kalvin Phillips probably can't do the good things that Declan Rice can do. You see what I mean when I'm comparing the two? He's not, like, you can even see that I don't know what he really is when it comes to the type of player. Now, if he had a run of games, maybe we'd see the best out of Kalvin Phillips. But I never wanted him in the first place. And it wasn't a great signing in general. It feels very Alex Krau. It feels like Alex Krau. Like, it genuinely does. But he's already got more fucking playtime than Alex Krau did. He's just like an English Alex Krau. When Alex Krau was at this club, we didn't play. But we didn't know. The difference is with Alex Krau, because he played for a different league, I never knew whether he was good enough or not. Anyway, make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe if you are new. Hopefully you are enjoying the player analysis videos. We'll give you another video tomorrow as well. I'm going to watch the England match against Brazil. Paquetá and all that. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.